Welcome to our event, Wanting to be a Mom and Still No Baby on the Way, where we are going to discuss how to encourage women and couples going through this fertility treatment. We'll find out some steps to be taken to focus on the present moment, how to forgive, how to be gentle with ourselves. Also, we could learn to reprogram our thoughts and to shift our mindset. And last but not least, find information and support on going abroad for fertility treatment. So let me make a short introduction of both of us before going deeper into the topic of the event. Monica Bivas is a fertility mentor and fertility coach based in New York. We work with Monica to offer our patients an integrative approach to their fertility journey, and Monica guides patients through the often overwhelming fertility treatment experience and helps them to live it in a more positive and relaxed way. My name is Arina Rogozina, and I'm the Business Development Manager of Fertty International, an assisted reproduction clinic based in Barcelona, Spain. And our activity is focused on international patient care, meaning for patients who are coming abroad to carry out their fertility treatment here in Barcelona. So we have chosen the topic of the event to give more significant emotional help and provide tools to live through the fertility treatment, which often becomes the emotional roller coaster, right, Monica? So my first question to you is about how can we manage to the fact of wanting to reach parenthood, doing all to get there, but unfortunately our dream of having a baby still doesn't come true?
Well, actually, because I myself went through this fertility journey, I went through 5 cycles of IVF. So I kind of walked that path, and I know how difficult it can be. And one of the things that I found out is that when we focus on something, this case will be the baby, so much, because of course that's the main goal of the treatment. So by being focused on that, but at the same time being with that fear of what if the treatment is going to work, and all, the moods and the ups and downs that bring with it. So it put us in a place where we basically kind of blocking the possibility of increase that reaching of the goal, which is parenthood. So, that's why I understand, or I can see that many, a lot of people is different in their cycles. I went through 5. There is people that goes only through 2 or 3, and there is other people that go through maybe 16 cycles. I have been, and then after 16 cycles, suddenly they even get pregnant naturally, So it's about how we can handle that focus. Yes, we need to be focused on that because that's the main goal. We are on a treatment to reach parenthood. But at the same time, we need to remember that this is not the only thing that we need to be just looking at, because there is also life. So what I realize is, like, one of the things that can help us to ease that journey and get a little closer. I'm not going to say in what percentage, because first of all, that could be more from the medical side, and the medical side has that handling the emotional part with the medical and kind of balance both can help us to increase that. So one of the things we can do is always remember that there is a life surrounding us, either if it is our partner, husband, or wife. I really don't look into what kind of relationship you have. It can be heterosexual, it can be a same-sex relationship, or it can be a relationship within yourself, because today we find a lot of women going to motherhood without they don't want a partner. They just, look for a sperm donor, and they just want to be mothers themselves. So no matter where in that place of life you are, the idea of being focused on that is at the same time remember that you have a life out, that you have family or you have a partner, and also try to go back into your past moments that brought you some kind of happiness, and also focus on present moment.
I totally agree with you, because wanting to have a baby mostly becomes the first goal, and the rest is totally secondary. So we don't pay attention to everything that makes us happy, no? And we forget to enjoy the happiness that being a wonderful person, a good friend, an excellent dancer, for example, no, gives us. So how can we focus not only on a baby, but on memories that created happiness in our lives and the actual present moment? Monica, what can you recommend for the patients?
Okay, so one of the things that I realized, of course, after so many, like after my fourth cycle, because, you know, I was always, we have the tendency of being stuck in that what if, especially when we are looking forward to something that we really, really want. And I learned that from Dr. Bruce Lipton. You know, I had an interview with him actually, and he works the epigenetics, and this is so true. Yeah. So he was explaining something, and this is something it was stuck in my mind. So we are focusing on the baby, right? And most people will tell us, you need to think positive, you need to throw to the universe that the baby is going to happen, the baby is going to happen, the baby is going to happen, and it still doesn't happen. And the reason that it's not happening is because we are consciously saying that, you know, we are saying we want the baby, I want the baby, and we are just focusing on that. And subconsciously, we have that negative thought of that is not going to work. So if you see, all our mind, conscious and subconscious, is basically obsessed with just that goal. And there is two different thoughts: the positive that we know by conscience that we are throwing, yes, it's going to happen, and the subconscious that is all the stress and the anxiety and the emotional roller coaster of like, oh my God, this treatment has a very small possibility of me getting pregnant. But remember something, even trying to conceive naturally is really very small too. It's exactly the same, you know? So what we need to do is start to retrain our subconscious and be aware, creating awareness that, number one, we cannot make this goal into an obsession. Because if it becomes an obsession, any obsession is toxic. And toxicity creates negative results in life, in anything. So we don't need to make an obsession. It's a goal. We want it. We need to be aware that we are on a treatment and we want that. But at the same time, we need to be aware on looking outside, on trying to also nourish ourselves. So, you know, be aware that if we are in this emotional roller coaster, we are it's going to bring some times of sadness and depression. So in that moments of sadness and depression is when we need to definitely pick up ourselves up and nourish ourselves. Realize that if we are not capable to nourish ourselves, how are we going to be capable to be good parents? Yeah. So if we, you know, drag ourselves into such a sadness because this beautiful thing of parenthood that we want becomes an obsession, and we are so sad and so depressed and so anxious, how, with what energy, with what kind of a little bit of light, we're going to be able to receive that baby? So if we open up that doors, if we open up a little bit about, okay, this is difficult, this is not easy, I might get pregnant, I might not, but at the same time, if I put everything on my part to be a little bit more calm, to realize that I need to also take care of myself and my emotions and my physical, and see what I have around. I have a beautiful family, I have an amazing partner, or even if I have myself, I have a pet, or I have beautiful friends that can support me in this journey. That can eventually increase even your levels of serotonin and create happiness, and that by itself physically can help you to receive and to go with ease and increase the possibility of, you know, reach the dream of parenthood. Not in 100%, but in a 20, 25% over the already 20% that they are giving you medically of a possibility, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I understand it perfectly. So do you have kind of steps to get to a point where we can increase the possibility of a positive outcome, like you should do A, B, C. I know
Yes.
it's difficult. Obviously, it doesn't work like that, but maybe some tips.
Yes, absolutely. So when I started myself, my treatments, I didn't have an idea that there was coaches like me, you know, that could help you with them. Why? Because, you know, the clinics take care of their patients from the medical point of view, and they are so busy with so many cases of women and couples that want to be parents, that they give the most they can from that medical part, and also they are kind because they need to be kind. They try, you guys try to put yourselves in our shoes, but to be in our shoes is different. So I didn't know that there was this support. If I would have known that there was people like me and other, you know, fellow practitioners that could help me emotional and could be there for hearing me and could understand why I'm going through because they've been there too, that would be totally different. So one step I always suggest is try to find someone, a coach, an emotional support. A lot of clinics suggest today therapy. In Australia is becoming basically a law that all the clinics have an emotional coach to support their patients on their fertility treatments. So try yourself to find. Today with technology, we can find anyone online. And be there, because sometimes it's just necessary to vent, to just talk with someone, cry, express what you are feeling. And then after that, after you feel that someone that knows your pain, that have been gone through that, understand you, kind of release. That's one of the things. Another thing, if a person, if a couple, because already IVF and medical treatments are so expensive, don't have the resources to have an emotional support, so you must try to find it yourself. So what I did and I started to practice was meditation. You know, I used to listen a lot to Dr. Bruce Lipton. That was one of the things that I start to listen to his, I subscribe myself to his channel. I read a lot of books. I start to learn that we can basically change our genetics by switching our it's not easy, it's not from one day to another one, but we can start to meditate, start to create some space of creativity for yourself. So there is this kind of therapy that calls art therapy. It can be painting, it can be coloring, it can be even creating with Play-Doh, because we all have that creative side. And it has been kind of in research, there has been results that when we are tense and we start to kind of look into change that tension into creativity, it right away is that thing. So that anxiety, that emotional negativity kind of being released by creating. It's not that we are piling it up or accumulating it. It's not that we are forgetting about it, but we are distracting our mind, and then suddenly we are in a place that, wow, you know, I was sad, now I am doing something that is helping me to release that sadness in a very much positive way. So meditation, coloring, coaching, and definitely we must learn to nourish ourselves. Everything that happened in our lives is being solved not by others. We can have that emotional support, we can have that therapies, we can meditate, but in the end, it's our choice to decide how much pain we can deal with, how much anxiety we put in our bodies, and how we can control it. So that basically will be my tips. The order that people can use them, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because in this case, you know, like when we are going through fertility treatments, there is no middle point. It's either black or it's either white. It's either black in the sense that you're gonna, you know, decide that it's gonna drain you totally, and you're gonna go cycle after cycle after cycle after cycle, because you are never taking any action on trying to make your best to direct it in another way. Or it's either, you know what, I know what it is, I am aware that it's painful, I am aware that is something very difficult, but at the same time, I'm going to embrace it and I'm going to do my best to focus on this is my path, but there is world outside. I'm going to dedicate time to myself. I'm going to nourish. I'm going to do art therapy. I'm going to see if I can look to a coach that can help me that went through the same. Support groups in Facebook. Like I tell you, it's not necessary always to go and pay because financially it's very impactful, but there is plenty. With technology today, we have Instagram, we have Facebook groups, like thousands of ladies that are going through the same pain and hardship that you are and supporting each other. That would be my suggestion of steps that we can take.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it will have to reprogram all sorts of the patient and help them to be an active part of the treatment, no, and reprogram their mindset and live the fertility journey differently, no. To
Yes.
So Monica, in case that, what program do you offer patients to help them in this situation? Let's say that the patient contact you, and what can you offer them?
Okay, so usually I have like a program that calls Journey to Love. It's divided in 3 different packages. So there is a package that a couple or a woman or they can choose in the beginning of the journey, you know. So like they are starting IVF and, you know, they want to know a little bit how they can take a step into handling the emotional part and the medical part, because like I said, you know, medical can offer. You with Fertty are offering that part with me. And this takes about, you know, the beginning of the process, all the tests. I send them some meditations. They have email contact with me every day. We do, of course, first a discovery call that is at no cost. Why? Because the person or the individual or the couple needs to find the way to communicate with me and know, okay, this is the person I need. Because I tell you, each coach has different approaches. And then if, for example, she or he or the couple is going to be honest and their focus is different or goes further from what they are, I myself can tell them, you know what, I can recommend you someone else that deal with this part. Let's see, energy and spirit baby, because they are more spiritual or something like that. So anyway, during that discovery call, they can find an approach that I can help them myself, or I can recommend someone else. That's the first part. And then if they decide to go with me, then we go into the packet of the Journey of Love divided in 3 steps. They can go through the first step, which is, you know, the beginning of the process, how it goes. I'm going to be supporting them. They're going to have the calls, you know, because sometimes you need to call and say, okay, my results today was not what is expected, but the doctor is telling me to keep going, you know, we need to move forward. What do you suggest? Or I just need someone to listen to me. So that's the first one. The second package is going from the first, and if you are continuing and go through the 2-week wait, you know, that is the crucial part. 2-week wait is like one of the most crucial part. That is basically emotional support package, activity support package. I send PDFs with coloring pages, journaling, venting exercises. We do Zoom call, face-to-face. We can do, I have, I think, 2 Zoom calls, because when you have someone that you can look at, even if you don't have it physically, but you have someone to look at, to express your frustration and to receive some ideas is better. And then my last part of the package is if you get a big fat positive result, so you get pregnant and you want to continue to receive that support because it still is not secure, you know, that there is women that, okay, they get their positive test and then after 7 weeks or after 12 weeks, they miscarriage. So this third package has 3 different directions. So the positive that is going to end up, you know, we say, God willing, into a baby in arms, and they want that support because we are still on that fear. You know, we are pregnant and maybe I have a little spotting and then I go crazy because it happens to me. Or the positive that unfortunately end up in a miscarriage or stillbirth. And why I have that part too, because I myself went through stillbirth at 39 weeks, so I know how difficult can be and we can just close ourselves into a place that is so dark that we don't want to get out of there. So that support is also needed. Someone needs to check you up and say, you know what, it's not about letting go, but it's about continuing life and make sure that it's going to be there, but you can try again. And eventually the last package, the last division of this third package is the part that, you know, I got a negative and I need probably to go through another cycle. And this cycle, I don't know how it will be. If it's with my own eggs, if it's going to be through egg donation. And then also in that part, I will come also to suggest, you know, what other clinics and abroad, like you, Ferty, what, because they come to us. I might not want to do it with my eggs. How my clinic can help me with egg donor, with this and that. And then that will come my emotional part, but also you guys will be involved, and you will be involved in all the step of the way.
Yeah, cool. So I understand that you also do face-to-face consultation. Well, probably now, no, because we are on this COVID pandemic situation, and obviously you do it online with the patient. But for the patients who are living in New York, for example, are they, once everything is going to be to normal,
Yes.
so you offer also face-to-face consultation on site, right?
Yes, I can do that absolutely for New York patients. Like when Esther was here and we met, I told her, you know, if you ever have a patient that is ready to go abroad and you need to get face-to-face, I am here for that. We can meet, we can talk absolutely, and from there go on, you know, line on line with you guys. Absolutely, yes. Well,
Cool,
clinics
cool.
start open here, I think in Spain too. So, you know, the idea is that with all this step by step of opening, if I need to meet with someone, I will do it, you know, obviously following all the laws that there are now with all this crazy thing and mask and everything. But
believe me, I know what you're talking about. And well, I have another question. My last question to you, it's about your IVF planner, the book you publish. And many of our patients find it really interesting and useful. So can you briefly explain how it can help to organize a fertility journey of our patients, of your patients, of every patient?
Yes, absolutely. So the book came out actually from me, like, you know, when you know how it is. The clinics take all the process, they call you with the results, with the numbers, and we get we want that numbers. We want to know where we are at every day, at every step of the way. So I used to take notes in my little papers, and then the papers, you know, from the same emotional thing and all the anxiety get lost. So what I create this book is based on my own experience. So it's a mix of that part of getting your records, keep your medical records from your clinic. It has a journaling part that we can, you know, journal and write about our feelings and all of that. It tells my story too, because then you know that the person that wrote that book is someone that went through the hardship of that and is giving you some ideas. It has also creativity on the chapter of the 2-week wait, which I know is the crucial part of the in vitro, the one that put us in most stress, because actually we are pregnant. You know, we just got transferred an embryo, so like literally we are pregnant. What we don't know is that if that little embryo is gonna attach or not, but we are there, you know. So that 2-week wait chapter has some mandala coloring, some journaling. I have a glossary of terms, because, you know, sometimes we don't know what is the abbreviation of BFN, is big fat negative. Very medical terminology that we need to know. So it's a combination of the medical and the emotional. And it's an excellent tool, definitely, not because it's my book, but I think it's an excellent tool for anyone, either single woman or a same-sex couple or heterosexual couple that is gonna start an in vitro fertilization treatment, for having in order your records. And it has even a chapter of when you have a big fat positive and you know what steps to take to do the best to keep your pregnancy, and when there is big fat negative and multiple cycles. So it's all in one planner that you can easily have, you know, and clean, you know, here I have another fellow coach. She is more holistic approach, but she has my book in her place for patients or for people that decide to go through IVF. The same with CNY, and now with you guys. Esther knows that whatever you need, I just need to, from the publisher, order it, and you can have it in your clinic. Yes.
Yeah. Well, now we cannot share books on site because of the restriction, but yes, obviously once it's going to be much more normal,
yes,
or obviously online we can send them.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. So, and then, I also wanted to, because people want, know the approach of what to do and the tips of how to make easier this journey. But I am sure that they also want to know about how Fertty approach all of that. So I want to also ask some questions to you, because I think it's going to be like a even thing that we can offer to the audience. Is that right?
Yeah, cool. Yes.
Okay. So when patients are considering going abroad for their fertility treatment, Arina, what information should they take into account?
Well, the process of decision making where to perform the fertility treatment is always very stressful. So patient should consider many aspects, such as, let's say, country's legislation situation. We are talking here about legal regulation on allowed treatments, age limits, who can receive these treatments, and the standards of quality, obviously, and techniques and technology, labs, training of specialists, and the price-quality relationship, really important things. Success rates, obviously, and complementary offer of the destination. It's also really interesting things. And another essential aspect to take into account, I think, and we strongly believe on it, it's how the clinics support patients throughout the process. So
yes,
this is what actually I think should be taken into account.
Yes, a lot of people, usually here in the States and even in other countries lately, even before the COVID-19,
yeah,
they were looking into go abroad because they were even kind of cheaper than doing it in their own country, even with the tickets and all of that. And also what you just say, very important, how the clinic helped them to approach the treatment. So now talking specifically about where you are located, guys. Why is Spain, and in particular Barcelona, such a popular, destination for patients that want to do their fertility treatment abroad?
Well, Spain is the first preferred destination in Europe, but the patient undergo fertility treatment, and the third one in the world in quality and activity and assisted reproduction treatments. So, and it's all due to several factors, obviously. So Spain was a pioneer in Europe, having an assisted reproduction law, and forced in 1988, and all the regulations that came after that made Spain nowadays a very secure destination for realization of these treatments. So also here we can add the high standards in quality, state-of-the-art technologies, very, very qualified specialists, and really high success rates. And really important thing, I think, that it's also affordable prices and no waiting list. And this is talking about Spain in general. And Barcelona in Spain is a leader. It's a leader to perform these treatments. So it's also one of the most popular destinations in general in the world. So yes, what makes it an accessible destination with direct and frequent flights from anywhere in the world. Well, maybe not right now in this moment, but in general, yes. And it's also an excellent place to combine the treatment with the tourism. So we were talking here about the reproductive tourism, so the patient can come, stay for a while, enjoy, relax, and before and after the treatment.
Yes, no, and I like the fact that Fertty also offers that not only the medical support, but the emotional support that is really very difficult to find today in clinics still, even though it's something that is a trend and a lot of clinics are becoming aware of that, but you already guys have it implemented to everyone. Plus, you offer the bilingual support. You have Spanish and English, which is great because a lot of people in the world speak only English, and you guys have the amazing support of having people like you and me that we are bilingual. We can offer both languages. So what is the differential value approach of your clinic?
Well, one of the things, let's talk that you just mentioned, no? We work with experts and psychologists, fertility coaching, nutrition, acupuncture, reflexologists, among others. So these professionals obviously contribute to make the process easier and comfortable, emotionally and physically healthy, no? And as a consequence, much more positive for all the patients. So, and we offer this specialists online or face-to-face, depending on the language. We don't have, as you said, a language barrier, so our team speaks different languages, just Spanish, obviously, and Catalan, English, French, Italian, Arabic, Russian, Portuguese, German. So, yeah, the language is not the problem. And, well, and talking in general, I think that each clinic obviously acts following its own business model and its own patient care policy. So here we wanted, from the beginning, when we opened the clinic, here we wanted to avoid that the patients feel lost, insecure, frustrated, lonely during their fertility journey. So I'm afraid we all know the situation of arriving at the medical center and always be attended by different staff that doesn't know our name, the staff that should keep studying our medical history, retaking notes, and making us feel like just a number. So, and we are talking here about a moment where we are not exactly okay physically or emotionally. So for this reason, patient experience is really paramount for us, and I'm pretty sure that we stand out among other centers for this approach. So this is one of the our value approach. And also we offer a personalized care model. We call it one patient, one team. And what does it mean? That every patient or couple, let's say, is always attended by the same team, the same patient assistant, the same medical assistant, and the same doctor during all the path. So it ensures our patients then to end experience.
Yes,
and exactly.
You want to feel secure, and sometimes it's like today the nurse is not here because of all the quantity of patients, and that gives more security. I love that part of Fertty, definitely.
Yes, and also another thing we do to help our patient, and let's say to reduce the number of visits to the center, because we're talking about international patients. We only work with international patients, so they're coming, let's say, from the US, no? So to reduce the number of visits to the center and shorten their stay, maybe in Barcelona, we always offer the possibility of online consultation with our medical assistant, with our physician. And as you said, we offer this consultation totally free for patients to start everything, because we believe that obviously before taking this really important decision, you should feel comfortable and have all your doubts resolved. So this is very important. And also we work for the same reason. Basically, we work with patients, doctor in their region. Let's say that we are having a patient from New York, and she wants to perform a treatment with us, and she has her own gynecologist or specialist in fertility in New York. So we contact the doctor and we share all the information with the physician. And in case that patients don't have their own physician, we can recommend them our collaborators, because we have collaborators worldwide. And this information can be shared directly between centers or between doctors, and we share it obviously through really high security channels, avoiding patient to have unnecessary worries. So this is how we are trying to, so the patient can start the perform test before coming here, can do the stimulation process if it's needed on their own destination. It's really important right now, taking into account the situation we are living. So a lot of job may be done before coming.
That I when I did the partnership with you guys, that was one of the things that really attracted me the most, because you are covering every single point, every single topic of the whole process. Now, I know that, some patients are always, IVF has so many routes, has so many ways. It's not only with our own eggs. Sometimes the fertility issue that we might have, either male or female, has so many ramifications that the treatment itself can become from a different approach. So what treatments are most demanded by patients traveling from the US to your clinic, and why?
Well, obviously, let's talk about the US patients. So from the US, it's basically egg donation programs and social fertility preservation.
Yes.
So, and without repeating reasons that I have named before, the donation in Spain is anonymous, which allows us to have immediate availability of donors. And also it's altruistic, which helps us to reduce the cost of treatment significantly. Wow. So for the US patient, let's say the price of the treatment, including the flights and the stay, is much more lower than you doing this treatment in the US. So it allows many people who cannot afford economically to perform the treatment in the US and have this valuable option in Spain, and not give up on their dream to having a baby, obviously.
Yes, and now that you mentioned the egg donation, so it jumps to the next question, because a lot of, that's a very sensitive subject for many couples, that eventually, you after all, you don't, eventually you say, okay, that's it, this is my last resort, I need to do egg donation. So I know that the program that you have for IVF with egg donation is very interesting. There is some warranty. Can you briefly explain about that? Because as I mentioned, there is a lot of patients in the world that's it, had gone through so many cycles, or maybe they are even going through second infertility, but they realize that's it, egg donation is my next option. Can you briefly explain about that?
Yes, well, actually we have different programs. It can be just one cycle program with different packages for egg donors, and we also have exclusive package with exclusive donor. But the highly demanded program we offer, it's a guarantee program or refunding guarantee program. Basically, we are talking here about the guarantee of the birth of the baby, of the money back.
Okay.
Of the money back. So obviously, patient must meet the medical criteria for admission. But to explain shortly how it works, the program includes 3 complete IVF cycles with donor eggs. So all the cryopreservation and storage of good quality remaining embryos, all the medication, both for patients and donors, and as well as all following frozen embryo transfer cycles. So here we refer not I'm talking about 3 cycles, I'm talking about 3 rounds of cycles. So let's say, obviously, where each may include several transfers.
Yes.
And if unfortunately live birth, it's not pregnancy, because many clinics offer pregnancy program, we are talking here about live birth, we're talking about the baby. So if unfortunately live birth is not achieved after the end of all the program, all the 3 rounds and all the transfer, cryo transfer, 100% of the amount paid will be returned or refunded to the patient. So what this program really helps to have this peace of mind for patient, and it works. I mean, it's a highly demanded program among patients today here.
Yes, it's a great, great warranty, and it's really, and there is some places in the world that can
Yeah.
have donation, but your program is
Yeah,
incredible.
and turning back to the price, to the cost of the treatment, no, this is why mainly also patients are from the US traveling to Spain. Let's say the average price for this program is around 20,000 US dollars.
Mm-hmm.
What's the price for one single IVF cycle with egg donors in the US? So you can
you can make the numbers. That is so right.
You can make a number, obviously.
Absolutely. Then it's leading me to my last question, which has to do with, unfortunately, the situation that we have now in the world that is creating a lot of, anxiety more on top of, having cycles canceled before they start to open clinics now, like, thank God, opening clinics now. What is the situation now, considering, this COVID-19, to start treatment with you guys?
Well, safety and health are really important for us nowadays, and we obviously follow all the guidelines established for the health centers here to face the COVID-19 and the measures recommended by health scientific societies and authorities, obviously, to protect both patients and staff health. But we reopened the clinic, the facilities for treatments in early May. So we are operating right now. And we have already received our first patients coming from Europe. Obviously, we have many security protocols. And well, what I can say for the patients who are just thinking about that carrying out the treatment usually requires several weeks or even months to preparation. So there is evaluation of the clinical case, diagnosis, tests to be carried out, results to be developed, and the plan of the treatment, among others. So much work can be done in advance. So it's really good moment to start. And for the patients who are really find themselves in the decision process about going abroad for fertility treatment, I would recommend really contact the clinic and start the communication. So to perform an online consultation, as we were saying, in our case, we offer this online consultation free with the physician directly, and get answer all their concerns and ask for quotations, for example, etc. So obviously each clinic manages it differently, but nowadays, taking into account the economical situation, also this crisis, we understand the situation of our patients, so we offer many solutions right now. Logistics, economics one, so we can somehow help patients during this challenging period for everyone.
Oh, that's amazing. And I assume, we hope that, everybody hopes that soon, this is gonna kind of get over it and we all can go back to normal life, because I'm sure that still there is people looking for the option of doing it abroad. It's gonna be always an open door. But of course, as each country has their own policies, of traveling. So
of course, well, yeah, we should take it into account and see. I mean, we receive flights to Spain, and as I said, we receive patients. So just we need to check every single. So this is why we offer before traveling, we offer patients an online consultation to check all the details and to send the protocols and to test patients before traveling. Well, there is a lot of things that obviously every patient, I invite you to contact us and stay informed about all your options. So our team works 7 days per week. So please, you have our contact details in our websites, and obviously the information about Monica, we will be really happy to share with you. Absolutely. So yeah, nowadays we do our best to adapt ourselves to needs and demands of each patient individually.
Yes, it's so true, and that online consultation with you guys is so important, because anyway, sometimes the process, even if it is in their own country, takes so long. So to have that support and have the option to decide and have that possibility there, even prepare us emotional. So as you said, They have your contact, they will have my contact, and anything that, you know, the audience want to know. I guess that once you post this video and then I share it with my groups too, you know, there is always the option of below posting comments, tag me or tag Fertty, and we will be on top. You know, I'm checking all the time my social media to be able to answer questions, because I'm sure that after this incredible informational video for both sides, the medical, the emotional, we're gonna have a lot of people asking questions and interested in all the services that Fertty offers.
Yeah. Obviously, you can find the record of the event in our social media channels and YouTube and Facebook. So both on Fertty and Monica. And we will send for the registrants to this webinar the video tomorrow, so you can also check it. And for those who couldn't attend, well, this is the possibility to learn really interesting things. And well, I think sooner or later we will overcome this challenging situation, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be easier if we do it all together.
Yes.
So, Monica, I'm really happy to have you on board, and thank you very much for your time and for this really interesting talk. And
no,
I hope.
Same here, and I want to let know our audience that we're gonna have events back and forth. I will be with you guys, Fertty, in your channels for the next 4 months, and then also I will have your team with me in my channels. So we're gonna offer a bunch of information that it's gonna be really incredibly help for all the community and our audience that wants to start or go through IVF or are in that decision of this process.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for everyone for participating, and stay safe, be kind.
Yeah.
See you soon. Goodbye.